T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. Welcome to the New Breeder on the Block series. It is a Monday. Feeling good. Feeling ready like I'm ready to rock. But what is good, everybody? I'm your boy MJ. If this is your first time tapping in, do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. That way you're on top of every piece of content that I put out here on the Snake Trap Sessions channel. I come out with multiple podcasts a week on fire. I come out with the vlog every Saturday, so you never know what I'm going to drop. Just consistent. I also do a lot of traveling and stuff and whatnot, so you just never know what kind of facility tour I'm going to drop. So just do yourself a favor. Subscribe to this channel. That way you're on top of everything. Notification bell reminds you of everything that I drop. And then hit that like button. If you're fucking with my boy, B. Phillips, because boy's about to spit some fire. I'm telling you right now, Flex in Texas. But if you like the conversation, you're learning a lot. You like the podcasts, it means a lot to me, it means a lot to the guests, it means a lot to YouTube if you hit that like button. So very important. I will probably remind you guys throughout the podcast, maybe once or twice, to hit that like button. So yeah, hit that like button, man. What's up with the early birds? Early birds up in the building. Before we get started, you guys know what the deal is. Freshest, bestest rodents delivered to your doorstep. Cold-Blooded Cafe is your jam. $30 flat rate shipping, shipped anywhere in the United States. Number one in the game. It's my family, Cold-Blooded Cafe. Go check them out. Instagram and check out their website. Shout out to John and Alex over at Sim Container doing big things with their monitor program and also designed an amazing egg box called the Sim Container. If it's a sim, it's a win. Check it out. I got all my eggs inside of a sim box. I'm going to be hatching out multiple different types of species this year. They're all going to be in the sim box. So best believe it. Thank you so much, John and Alex, for your support. I appreciate you guys so much. And shout out to Steven and Ashley. Flex in Texas all day, every day, doing big things over there. They just moved into a new facility. Go check it out. They post their stuff up on Instagram. Custom work, man. PVC built enclosures, very easy to move, very durable. Very excited to work with these guys now and in the near future. And, you know, for as long as ever, man. I love these two. These guys are awesome. Thank you for your support. Stephen Ashley means a lot. Shout out to Jesse, the entire Freedom Breeder crew, leading America, the industry, the world in stainless steel racks. The original Freedom Breeder, man. Appreciate you, Jesse. Shout out to everyone who supports Freedom Breeder. If you have a Freedom Breeder rack, you already know it's the real deal Holyfield. Shout out to my, speaking of the real deal Holyfield, my man Miguel is finally taking a vacation. God bless him. Him, his wife, his two beautiful kids, just chilling somewhere down in Mexico. God, I wish I was there. I just know the vibe, man. But I'm pretty sure my man Miguel does things player like I do. So if I'm right, he's probably at an all-inclusive resort, not, just getting waited on. And, I guarantee he made really good friends with some of the bartenders, some of the waiters. He's probably having the time of his life, and he deserves it. I'm telling you right now, this guy inspires many, like myself. A lot of people in this game is inspired by this guy. Once you meet him, you get even more inspired. But either way, if you don't know who he is, now's your time to go check him out. Miguel Garcia, Always Evolving Pythons, working with some amazing ball pythons, has an amazing YouTube channel, very consistent, always like never dull. It's a never dull moment with Miguel. That's why I love him. You know what I mean? Some other people have their moments of like, oh, that was cool. And then Miguel's never dull. So go check him out. Instagram, YouTube. Shout out to his whole AEP family. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your support. You guys are really day ones. And another big day one homie for sure is my boy Alan. Is like my big brother right here, working with an amazing species of snake called the Amazon basin, also known as the Ferrari of snakes. This is right here is like, working with these is not very common. It's very hard to get your hands on such a beautiful animal, and it's not cheap. Not even money could really buy these. You got to be a part of a certain clique. I'm just kidding. No, but you really do got to be a part of something. Like this guy right here has a Patreon page. He has a lot of people on his waiting list. So if you want to learn more about these species, if you want to tap in more with the basins, my recommendation is go follow my boy Alan at Amazing Basins. And then if you really are that passionate about wanting to own a basin someday, join his Patreon page and go see what that's all about. Shout out to my boy Alan. I have a really good feeling about your year this year, buddy. He's already bred basins before. This year's looking pretty good. I've been talking to him on the low. So we're just, keeping the wood knocking, and the basins are coming. Shout out to my boy Alan. I appreciate you, dog. Shout out to my big homie right here, Blake Stewart, SD Design, SD Identity, Stewart Design. When am I going to get your fucking name right, bro? My bad. Anyway, Stewart Design right here is doing big things when it comes to brand changing. If you are somebody who is doing this for the long run, if you are looking at yourself and you're like, wow, money's good. Wow, I feel like I'm not going anywhere. Wow, I want to fucking elevate shit. Then, dude, it's all about your brand. I'll tell you that right now. So if you want to learn more, if you want to get an idea, look into Stewart Design. I'm telling you right now, don't fuck around. Like I said, this isn't a sticker swap design. This is a fucking brand. Canova, Reach Out Reptiles, brand, big time shit. That's my boy Blake Stewart. Appreciate you, appreciate your support, and I cannot wait to work with you in the near future. Big things coming from Stewart Design and Trap Talk. What is good? Rami, Reptile Super Show, best show in the West Coast. Cannot wait to go to another Reptile Super Show. Shout out to everyone who goes to Reptile Super Shows. They are amazing because you get to meet a lot of people, and there's a USARK auction where all the fun goes down. Rami's been killing these shows for I don't know how many years now, a long time, and really, if it wasn't for these shows, a lot of these relationships I have now would not be built. So get your ass to a Reptile Super Show. Anaheim's, coming, and then another Pomona. Then there's Vegas. So yeah, and then not to mention, here we go. Who's ready for Tinley? Yes. Drop a comment, man. Let me know who the fuck is going to Tinley. I'm so excited. Very, very, very excited. Man, I had a good time at last Tinley. Let me know if you're going, though, for real. I want to link up with some people. I always like smoking with new people. You know what I mean? Because if you link up with me at a show, we're smoking. This is what we do. But more importantly, I'm excited because this is my first time at a Tinley in March. Might be a different vibe. Might be the same vibe. Who knows? Either way, it's fucking the Super Bowl or shows. You know what I mean? Technically, Super Bowl is only once a year. When it comes to Tinley, there's two a year. So that's 2 Super Bowls in 1 year. It's amazing. Go, please. If you guys can, go. If you can't go in March, go to October. I know a lot of people who can't not go in March, but they are going to October. So either way, it's going to go down. Shout out to Brian Potter. Shout out to Bob Ashley. Thank you so much for your support. Cannot wait to hang out with you guys in about less than 2 weeks. It's going to go down. I can't wait to hang out with all the other homies too at the banana bars. Is that called? Bananas? Bananas, right? Anywhere. All right. Shout out to you guys, man. Appreciate it so much. And then shout out to Phil Goss, USARK, doing their thing nonstop, doing what they can to help us. And we need to do what we can to help Phil Goss, because this is one man fighting for all our animal rights. And shit's not a joke. Shit's coming up. And this year is just starting. Like there's going to be a lot more things to come at us this year. And we need to be prepared for it. So the best way to do that is coming together, uniting, and fighting against these fucking weirdos Like, I mean, I like weirdos like us, but not these kind of weirdos. These are just fucked up weirdos. I don't like them. So we got to go against them. These fuckers got money and we got to go against them. That's basically what it comes down to. So shout out to anyone who supports USARK. Shout out to anyone who talks about USARK. Shout out to anyone, period, who's donated a fucking penny to USARK. Thank you. I mean, like, this is the kind of shit we need, but we need to do it more, and we need to spread the word to any of the new people coming into this. Okay, USARK should be something talked about to any person in this game, no matter what level they're at. So Phil Goss, thank you so much. I will be kicking it with you soon. Please have our table unlocked this time. Desiree, did you hit up Phil? Because last time, man, it was like Royal Rumble for our table. It was not easy, you know what I mean? And some people couldn't get in. Almost got nasty. But I got my homies in and stuff like that. But it's gonna go down. Tinley, here we go. Yeah, if you guys need to get a hold of me, if you're interested on what MJ's working with, and like, what is this guy working with, man? Or is he just a podcaster? No, man, I got a lot of sick ass shit. Go check me out on Instagram, mjexoticscartal with an A, not an E, and then go follow the podcast's Instagram page, Trap Talk with MJ Podcast. Shout out to my Twitch viewers. See the Twitch viewers going up on every episode, so I appreciate that. If you guys like to donate anything other than, hey, listen, I appreciate any ounce of support, but some of you like to donate stuff to the channel, and I appreciate it. Best way to do that is to PayPal Exotics Cartel with an A, not an E. And then, of course, if you got a big crucial question from my man B. Phillips, the best way to do that is drop a super chat. Drop a super chat for my man Brian. We'll ask it on the live, and then I send that super chat straight to USARK. Every super chat that is donated to this channel goes straight to USARK. It's been like that since day one. This is how we roll. So yeah, appreciate any support. Really, really means a lot. And then my Patreon family, love you guys, man. Big things going down with my Patreon, just so you know. We officially have picked the date, and we officially have started to move towards this year's 2022 Trap Fest. It's going down here at my house. Yeah, invite only. Sorry, this isn't like, hey, anyone can come. Not even a little bit. You got to be a part of the Patreon family. You got to be a guest. A home, you just got to be in. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but I don't let any randoms at my house. But I do let my Patreon family members at my house because I have their address. I have all this shit, so they're good. You feel me? So, anyways, if you're out there wanting to be a part of a sick ass community, or if you just want to come to Trap Fest and see what it's all about, because I got some heavy hitters coming to Trap Fest. Live music, DJ, USARK grappling matches. I actually have black belts that are going to be there going against other brown belts. It's going to be really sick. Live bands. Did I say live bands? Taquero, which is like taco catering company. Chocolate mushroom bars for certain people. It's gonna be fun. I don't want to just throw too much out there, but listen, go down to the link below. Join the Trap Talk Patreon family. Come fuck with us. As soon as you join the Patreon page, I send you a link to the Discord, which taps you in with all the family members, and that's where you get to meet everybody. That's where we talk 24/7, cracking off Discord for you to learn from, anywhere from reptile knowledge all the way to just personal life knowledge. It's amazing. Shout out to my trappers. You guys are amazing. Shout out to my Patreon members. What is good with the early birds? Early birds. Who is here? Ooh, my girl Pacific Rim Serpents. What is good? Thanks for tapping in, Chantel. I appreciate you. She's actually a Trap Talk Patreon family member all day, every day. 1776 Exotics. Big Mike. What is good, player? Haven't seen you in a hot minute. Trap Talk family member all day. He's an OG Trap Talk family member all day right here. Dom 702 Serpents, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Trap Talk Patreon family member all day. Deviant Glass, what is good? Trap Talk family member all day. Josh, what is good? Scale Fins and Feathers. Trap Talk family member all day. HB Reptiles, the big homie right there. What is good, player? Trap Talk family member all day, every day. And then they got the homie Calvin Garcia as my boy right here. Pain in my ass for sure. But this is my boy right here. I'll ride or die for this guy right here. Calvin Garcia is my homie right here. Shout out to homie Calvin. I love you, Calvin. You're my boy, dog. And head of trap security, by the way. Definitely really high up there. My boy Angel, Reptile Club. What is good? Trap Talk Patreon family member all day, every day. Julio, what is good? Trap Talk family member all day. Wise Guys, what is good, player? Sean Perry, the homie Sound Serpents. Thanks for tapping in. Trap Talk family member all day. Travis F. What the F, Travis? Thanks for being here, Travis. I don't know who you are, but thank you for being here. Bruce, what's up, Bruce? This guy right here is Facebook heavy. I like Bruce. He doesn't put up with any shit, and he gives people shit. I like that. That's my kind of guy right there. And, I only know that because Facebook. I can't stand people on Facebook, but I like Bruce. Thanks for being here, Bruce. Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you, bro. And I hope your most recent clutch that you dropped is going well. Hannah Banana is my girl right here. What's up, Hannah? Flex in Texas all day, every day. is my girl right here, Hannah. What's up, Bill Stiegel, the mayor in the house? What is good, Bill Stiegel? I love this guy right here. And we have so much to talk about because you guys got to understand, my boy Brian was fucking bred, like not bred, but like, talking groomed by my boy Bill. You know what I mean? A lot of this guy's knowledge that he's instilled in his brain is passed down from Bill. This is going to be an amazing show. Bill, thank you so much for working with Brian and actually being here. Thank you so much. You're a big bro all day, every day. Lily, what's up, homegirl? Trap Talk family member all day, every day. I love Lily. What's up, Gray Rider Reptiles? Trap Talk family member all day, every day. Jose, what is good? The homie Bubba, what is up, Bubba? Thank you for being here. Trap Talk family member all day, every day. And he made a sick ass painting and he gave my wife flowers. Well, his girl did. You did it. Relax. Antonio, what is good, Antonio? Thanks for being here. Arthiz. Fizz is what it is, my boy. What's up, Bods? The homie Bods. Jason in the building. Thanks for being here, player. Trap Talk family member all day, every day. Ooh, Windy City Chondros. We got some chondro hitters in the house. That's what I like to see. What is up, man? Got Windy City in the building. Thanks for being here, player. Heathen Hatchery. What is good? Heathen Hatchery. Thanks for being here. Trap Talk family member all day. And we got the homie Marcel Hawkins in the building. Looking good this year with your scrub stuff, man. The repeat. Could it be the repeat for the homie? I think so. Looking good. Coolest reptile podcast in the world. I appreciate you. Shane Adamson, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Low Life Exotics. Oh man, can we change that name? I feel like you're hard on yourself. Like I just reading Low Life. You have a high life. Go high life. I'm just kidding. You probably have a good meaning for it. I just don't know what it is. Turtle Balls, what is good? I hope you have turtle and balls. Keith Flax in the building. Wow, Brian Phillips. Damn, heavy one. I don't know who to give the Celebrity Appearance Award to, the mayor or Keith Flax. I might leave this up to Brian here. But Keith, thank you for being here, sir. Appreciate it. Had a great episode with the homie Keith on Unfiltered. Definitely need Keith on Trap Talk. That's for sure. We'll be in touch, Keith. But all right, I'm going to end it with Keith Flax because that's a heavy one. What is good, guys? I'm very excited. Hold on. Ooh, I do want to shout out, though, my boy Antoine coming in early with the $19.99. You could have just put 20, but I appreciate it, bro. I'll take $19.99. $19.99 straight to USARK. My boy right here, Antoine, is the fucking sickest, hardest dude with the fucking bald head in the game. That's all I got to say. And he's really handsome. I love him. Thank you, Antoine. I appreciate your support. Let's go. Matthew Summers, fuck you. I'm just kidding. I love you, Matthew. All right. So, Brian Phillips, good guy. I need refreshing on dates on when he started working with Bill, but I do know this was Bill's first right-hand man. This was Bill's first assistant that Bill ever needed. And then obviously Brian has slowly grown a chondro collection throughout the years. Since I've known him, he's like added one here, one there, but he just doesn't pick up from just anybody. The guy's very meticulous, he makes very player moves from all the right people. So he's tapped in, he's plugged in, and he's about to hit it up right now. B. Phillips, Flex in Texas all day, every day. What's up, B. Phillips?
What up, MJ? Appreciate you having me, man.
I'm excited to have you here, bro.
Unfortunately, I'm not Bill's first assistant.
I thought you were.
No, Logan Murray started with Bill before me in the ball python and carpet game. Builds Rex. I mean, him and Bill, I kind of took his place as he got on.
Well, you're a very honest guy, but let's just say you're Bill's first for this episode. Are you cool with that?
I am cool with that.
Okay, so Brian Phillips. Dude, no, okay, all seriousness, Brian, thank you for being here. It means a lot. Before we get into things, how you living? How's everything on your side? I just kind of let us know how everything's going for you, bro.
Oh, everything's good. Everything's real good. 2021 was a really big year for my collection, and 2022 is promising. Just picked up a yellow Cyclops baby to go with the now makes it a trio now.
Who's really the Cyclops?
Go ahead.
Who's the Cyclops from?
This is from Romanoff. I don't want to butcher his first name.
Okay, is he in the States?
California.
Okay, nice.
I believe his Facebook page is Viridius Python.
Okay, so before we get into all that, Brian, let's kind of take things back as far as I mean, you've always just like everyone else. I'm sure you've always been a huge fan of the reptile since a kid. Or when did reptiles really become part of your life?
Born and raised with them. When I was I got pictures dating back to 6 months old with my dad's pair of iguanas sleeping in the crib with me while he's out working, doing yard work. It was awesome,
It was awesome.
Kindergarten kid come home from school. He had a big old 8-foot by 4-foot by 10-foot cage and run in, throw the door open, let the iguanas out, and hang out till dinner. So
I mean, I really feel like, God bless the parents who put those kind of things in our lives that made us what we are today. You know what I mean? Like, my dad's side of the family, they're okay with animals, but they're not like, they're not interested like how I am. But my mom's side, like they're like, I had this uncle named Uncle Lloydie who had like a property with all these fucking exotic animals. And I got dropped off at his house one time when I was 6. And like, dude, I fucking walked that whole, like by myself, bro, like walked the whole property. And I'm like looking into things and I'm like, oh, like there was wild boars, there was mountain lions, like, bro, like it was very unsafe for anybody. It was safe for anybody to walk around this thing. And I remember being 6 years old walking around, and I've said this story before, I'll tell it again real quick, but the one thing that really like instilled in my mind is there was a house, like a Victorian looking old house, and I thought he lived in it. So I was looking for him, and I was like, where's my uncle? So I opened the door, and I'm just like, dude, does anyone even live in here? And I see there's these rooms, and I start opening up the rooms, and every room has a chain link fence. Like when you open up the door, there's a chain link fence. And I'm like, what? And then like a lot of it has like, he has like shit with like brush and like bushes in there. So I don't recall what was in what room, but I do remember him having a ginormous fucking anaconda, like a huge anaconda that was just sitting like right, like I opened up this one door and it was sitting right there, and I jumped back. I remember I jumped back, hit the wall, and then like just staring at it, I slammed the door, ran out, and I was just like, dude. And then anyway, so that shit never left. I was that kind of shock and like experience, even though it was like a little traumatizing, I wanted more of it. Like I just knew there was something like better than humans, you know what I mean? And I was all about it. So okay, cool. I'm glad we could share that kind of same experience. But let me ask you, Brian, so what age were you like looking at animals to the breeding sense? Like how old were you when you were like looking at something where, hey, can I breed it? Can I actually get eggs from it? Or was that ever anything to you?
Until I got with Bill, that was never even crossed my mind. My parents, I was allowed to have whatever I could take care of. Right. And I played a lot of sports and things like that. So it was like 2 lizards, 2 snakes, and a hamster. And I just kept those until, they ran their course and expired, and then took a break. I mean, I had a ball python. I got a ball python from Bill 6 years before I even started working with him. My mom's known Bill forever, and so that's how I actually met him. And once I decided to get serious, she was like, well, you remember that Bill guy? Yeah, he's a lot bigger than I realized. And made the introduction.
And that was what year? What year was this?
That was 2015.
So it wasn't too long ago then.
No, it was actually really recent that I made a heavy dive into reptiles.
Okay, so let's perfectly talk about, because I know it happens quick as far as the itch. As soon as you get a taste of, and especially if you have the opportunity to work for somebody who they have everything in front of you for to like want to daydream about, oh man, you're gonna want to get it really, really quick. So I want to ask you, at what point were you starting to gain interest in like, oh my God, what is this? I mean, where was it right off the bat when you started working? Day one. Right?
You've been to an ARBC in Texas. It's 99% ball pythons.
Right.
And so that's what I grew up with. My dad took me, and we were either looking at ball pythons or tarantulas. Right. So when I got to Bill's, I mean, the carpets, everything was like a whole new world. I mean, stuff I've only seen at zoos. I didn't even know people had.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And what's crazy is to see at that time, if I remember correctly, Bill was just getting into chondros or just then starting to breed chondros in 2015, 2016, right?
I believe he had his second or third clutch. It was the Cygnus pairing. It was turning the original Cygnus pairing was turning 1 or 2 when I started working for him, and I think he had one more clutch before that.
Now, what were some of the things that was really kind of like puzzling to you? Like, meaning, like, what were the connections you were making when starting to work for Bill? Like, what were some of the like good habits you felt like you learned from Bill?
Thoroughness. So the first time he, when we first started cleaning, he brought me in. He didn't just give me free reign of the place, obviously. I cleaned with him, but, he had a methodical way. You start on one side of a set of racks and you work top to bottom or left to right, but you go in a certain order so that, nothing's left undone. And originally I was just kind of like, it was all about speed. And so I'd kind of lose track of the path and just open up random tubs. And the first thing, he kind of laid down was the thoroughness, because that's how you make sure everything gets cleaned. And as you know, with the chondros, changing waters, changing puppet, everything being clean and top notch is real important. Nothing against ball python, but you can leave in a ball python tub, unchanged for a week or 10 days and no big deal. Whereas the chondros, I feel like you can check every day.
No, but here, see, this is my argument with that, and you're not a ball python guy, right? So I don't expect you to know this, but because this is one thing I talk about, all the time, is like one of the like norms in the ball python community is just changing out of water once every 7 days. And because I know how crucial it is for chondros to have fresh water, what makes you think a fucking ball python doesn't need fresh water? Just because it doesn't die as quick as a chondro, it's still like let me tell you real quick. I had one of my nice breeder males one time because I was I remember during this time I was busy at work and I had like, certain things where I'm like, all right, I'm not going to literally touch this for 7 days. Like literally leave shit alone for 7 days. Well, one snake decided to fucking take a huge shit in its water and then drink that water and got really, really sick. This guy started changing colors. He started shitting all weird. He went off food for like 6 months. And I was like, obviously trying to think like, what the fuck was wrong with this thing? And all I could think what would happen is that it got so thirsty that it attempted to drink its own shit water because, things happen. So like within 2 days, things could happen to that water. You know what I mean? And
true.
And bro, like I said, I would have never knew about how crucial or how I would have never been this psychotic over water changes if it wasn't for the chondros and emeralds. I understand how important their longevity is based off hydration, good, clean hydration. They have to drink good fresh water. And I feel like that should be that. It should be like that with any animal, period. It's water. Like, like just because some stomachs are built different doesn't mean you should just let it drink fucking bad water. Like, don't be a lazy piece of shit. Change the water. Like that's just the way I
agree.
But that, I'm glad you said that because literally, bro, when I started in this game, it was like, okay, yeah, you only need to do water changes once a week. You only need and then, ball pythons, you want to feed heavy. And if it wants to eat, feed it. And that's, there's situational things for that, but, there's these things that like are kind of mythical that aren't really the way to start off any kind of breeding plan, period. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. And, I feel the one thing I do check, I check waters try to walk by and check them every day. Because like you said, that's super important. I've just always, not being a ball python person, I think he'll hold the chondros to a little higher.
Yeah,
put them on a pedestal is the best way to put it.
Well, listen, at the end, there's a reason why they're called chondro snobs, or why you guys are called chondro snobs. Well, I'll throw myself in there too. It's because how thorough we are on top of their shit, and we aren't rack breeders where we just leave shit alone for 7 days, fucking 10 days, and then go attend to it. I mean, we are somebody who interacts with our animals, if not every day, not by touching, but by visual interaction. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm in this room like more than the trap for sure. I have my chores. I bust out my chores and I do my pictures. I do my stories. But like, if it's like okay, what am I doing in between? Like I do all my editing, everything's in this room just because I love to keep eyes on it. Like, just because you already know this stuff that we work with is not faint at heart. Like anything can happen at any moment, especially when you're pairing, which we'll get into the pairing part here in just a minute, because I know you're going through the ringer with that right now. But I want to kind of talk about, Brian, how did you start adding chondros to your collection? And let's talk about your first chondro purchase.
First chondro purchase was actually a surprise Christmas gift from my grandma from Bill.
Wow.
He was working a local reptile show, and he had this stunning, I'm talking about one of the best arus I've ever seen. A great blue belly, blue nose, some nice blue speckling throughout the dorsal, heavy white. And he just had, obviously had a display to get people to come up. And I was just in awe. I'd met him before, bought my ball python. This was the December before I started working for him. Right. And I expressed some interest. He made the comment, he had 3 babies, but they were spoken for. And lo and behold, he went and told my mom, hey, I think he's really interested. If you need something for him, he wants this. And that's actually one of the girls I'm paying. I have her. She's 6.5 now. And a Rubic.
Damn. And this was a Bill production, or was this a snake that Bill had?
Bill production.
Okay.
In fact, it might have been the first one before the sickness pairing that produced the sickness.
Was it a red Neo, yellow Neo? What was it?
Yellow Neo.
Okay.
And
that was your first chondro, right?
Very first chondro, 3rd snake ever.
Okay. And this is about, what year was this?
Christmas of 2014.
Is this it?
Yes, that is.
Wow. Hey, my first chondro was a yellow. It wasn't it wasn't a Bill Stiegel production, but
it was probably the greatest thing ever. And poor Bill, I must have messaged him 4 or 5 times, because I had seen the green trees at his house, and he had shown me his and walked me through, proper setup. But I must have texted him 7 or 8 times a day for 2 weeks straight. If that thing moved, I'd send him a picture making sure it was a proper perch.
Let me tell you something real quick, Brian. I never understood, like, I'm gonna relate what you're talking about with Bill to Forrest, and I want to tell you why, because I had so many questions especially with emeralds, and I will tell you, Forrest is the biggest reason why I got so geeked out, and Andrew too, but Forrest was the one who would sit down with me like on the phone for hours and talk about like crypto and all this other shit we should be concerned about with emeralds and chondros. And literally, bro, like I would just keep asking him questions and I would feel bad. And because his, Forrest's answers go for like 2 hours. And I would feel like, dude, I have another question on top of his answer. But let me tell you, with Forrest, bro, and I'm getting a taste of why Forrest did what he did with me, because now I'm doing it with certain people too. When you start gaining as much information, not that I know anywhere near as much as Bill, shout out to my boy Bill, but when you have that much shit that you've experienced and you see somebody who's remotely fired up that you once were or still are or whatever, and you could share that and you feel that, talking about this shit feels so good. You have no idea. It feels good to share information that you learn to somebody who's like this and listening. And I'm sure that's what you're doing to Bill. I'm sure that's why Bill had no problem laying shit down for you and still does to this day. Like, Bill, bro, like I'm telling you, man, like the reason why I have so much faith in you is because you're up and comings, like and the way you've never rushed anything too. You could have been very greedy about this, Brian. I know you could have easily hoard and stacked stuff for as long as you've been in it, but that's never been your game plan. I feel like you're all about making the right moves. Am I right?
I try really hard. I try to make sure the animals I pick them for a reason. Most purchases I run by Bill still to this day. Just, if I don't recognize the name or something,
good,
I'll run it by him just to see what his opinion is and, run by what my current collection looks like. So genetics and whatnot, he can, give me his opinion. you've seen what the man's produced. He knows what goes together. So
I envy
I'm
you.
really lucky with people.
I envy you every time I'm in his backyard and you're there just hanging out like, hey, MJ. And I'm like, fucker, you're like still right, like within driving distance. I would bug. I'm sorry, man. But if I lived that close to Bill, dude, my wife would be so, I mean, she would love Bill and Kim. So who knows? I would probably be over there I just as much as I can. Something about that house makes me feel so good. I love it. It's so inspiring. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's fun seeing that from the old house and the old snake room to see what it is now. It's just so cool. Worked his ass off to get it, and it was really fun being a part of it.
So
it was awesome.
So Brian, I want to talk about some of the steps you made when you first got your chondro. I mean, you've seen plenty of stuff on Facebook, how people ignored advice and they just do what they want. And, you know, they put a neonate in a really weird situation in a big enclosure and whatnot. What were some of the steps that you took with your neonate that you felt really helped you get this thing thriving? Or what are some steps you feel like you suggest for anyone getting into their first neonate?
The first thing I'd suggest to anybody is go through whoever you're buying it from and find out what their routine is and what they're keeping it in. You know, do they choose to feed at night? Whether it be that's what's successful or that's just what time they have. Do they feed during the day? And then try to mimic their setup. I think the best reason I've had luck with all the animals, all the babies I've had, is that when I took them over, I replicated everything that the person before was doing. And I kept it that way until, you know, it was settled in. And then you start feeding at a different time or stop doing something a little different. And it's still giving you positive feedback. And then you start doing your own thing with them. It was settled in.
Right.
You start feeding.
Oops, sorry. No, okay. Now, I mean, but for instance, right, like Bill has his stuff over paper. He's always had that method. That's always worked for him. Like, you know, as far as the neonates, you know, over paper towel. A lot of people run into issues with humidity. People run into small issues with ambient heating and whatnot. But what are like temps? Like, what are stuff that you stick to that always works for you when it comes to the way you spray, the way you heat, all that stuff?
So usually I try to keep the tub as seal tight as possible. Obviously you have to have airflow, but keep that and then 2 really big water dishes. I've made it to a point now with my Neos that I don't have to spray when they go into shed. I'll just take the water dish and move it from the far side that's away from the heat. I put the heat on the side so they can use the perches and get closer. And I'll move it from the farther side to right up against the heat to help generate humidity. And ever since then, I've never had to spray the enclosures and always gotten perfect sheds.
Okay. Good.
The paper towel things work like a charm for me. When I moved to the PVC cages, I tried using like a cypress mulch or Reptichips with a paper towel underneath to try to keep the humidity up and then just, you know, grab the paper towel and pull it out. But, you know, every once in a while the rat would drop or something and be covered in bedding. And I realize in the wild they don't have these things, but when you have the option to just give them a mouse or something that isn't covered in bedding or something, I'm going to take that option all the time. Right. And so large water dishes under the heat has always been able to keep the humidity perfect for me.
Now, you know, as far as like the meal sizes, how you increase those, how have you been working that out? Like as far as like bumping up the chondro's meals, when do you really implement that?
I'll be honest with you. I feel like I just figured that out within the last 2 years. One thing I think I'm guilty of is the first 3.5, 4 years I kept chondros. I took too long to up their food size because I never wanted to risk regurgitation. Right. I never wanted to risk grounding. I had a female at 2 years old that I fed just, you know, nothing crazy. It was just a noticeable lump that was gone within 2 days. But for those 2 days, she didn't want to perch. It was uncomfortable for her. She grounded. And then once the lump was gone, she got back on her perch and never had an issue. But because of that, I kind of slow grow them and I'd feed more frequently before I'd up the size. And I think now I've kind of reached a point where when I feed them, if that lump's gone within a day and then 2 or 3 days after that, they're hunting again, it's time to pump them up.
Right.
I try to be hunting.
They should be sitting still for a little bit. They shouldn't be still wanting to eat. So that makes sense. Now, if we could kind of talk about the next purchase after your first chondro. So you got your first chondro 2014, right? 2014, you said?
Yes, 2014.
And then when did the next chondro purchase come, or when did you add the second one?
So I just want to say overall, just in snakes in general, but especially with chondros, I've been very blessed in my journey. My second chondro, I actually won in a raffle from James Gabriel. He put a thing up on Facebook, said, share my page, like this, comment, and then did a random number generator 3 days later. And I won.
What was it? What kind of Whoa, Jesus, dude. I'm sorry. I don't this dude. Wow, Bill. This guy, Bill. It took him, Herp the homie Sean from Herp Show was busting his balls about donating $50, and Bill just dropped it on him, just a flex, and now he just drops $100. Bill, thank you. Straight to you, smart man, Bill. Thank you so much. And then the homie Andy Fox, thank you, Andy Fox. I appreciate that so much, guys. Dude, okay, sorry, that's big respect to the homie.
No, it's huge. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. What did you what was the second chondro you got?
Beautiful designer. It's actually Chilada, the one you used for the cover photo for this.
Dude, you won that, you sick bastard.
I won that.
Good for you.
Like I said, I've been very lucky in the chondro and reptile game in general. Very, very blessed.
Hey, things happen for a reason, player. You got you take them blessings and run with it. You feel me?
You're good. Yeah, that's it.
Dude, this is awesome, bro. So this is it right here, right?
Yeah, that's Chilada.
Oh my God, bro. What was it like getting this in the mail?
Oh, I freaked out. I was with a group of friends when I entered it, and I just had this shit-eating grin on my face, and they're all like, hey, what'd you do? I was like, man, I don't know. I entered. I never enter these things, but it can't hurt. I mean, the worst thing that happens is I don't win. And I must have checked my phone 4 or 5 times to make sure the comment was right. And then I made 3 or 4 people read it to make sure it was right. And getting it in the mail, I went home from work. I left work to go pick it up and then saw it and just called and said, I'm going home.
Dude, so let me ask you this, bro. Like, did he mention the price tag on this? What this typically cost?
No. All he asked is that if I ever got the chance, I would return the favor and do it for somebody else.
Please, can you raffle something to me? Just kidding. No, listen. I haven't won any raffles, but I still feel like the way I've acquired friendships in this game, and the way, like, I'm homies with you, homies with Bill, that's better than anything I could ask for. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, Brian, I'm sure you've heard me talk. We talked about this in person. Things land in your lap for a reason. If you're meant to be in something, I'm not saying you have to believe in God or anything, but fuck, somebody makes it happen. And I'm telling you right now, things happen for a reason. This is like a miracle type thing for you to win something like this. Like, what the fuck? Like, somebody purposely let you win this. I'm telling you, this was, and okay, people are thinking, well, what does it look like now? Well, let me show you what it looks like now. Fucking boom. God damn, this thing is fucking flossing, bro. So, I mean, how current is this picture right here?
6 months, maybe.
Okay, so not too old. It's pretty current.
Hasn't changed a bit. Still the exact same. He quit changing probably 2 years ago.
But see, that's where you're wrong, bro. I mean, yeah, for the most part, this is what you're seeing. But as well as I do, when chondros get older and older, that green becomes some sort of more intense. We don't know what this snake's really going to look like in like 5 years from now. Like, it's probably going to look, it's going to look trippy, bro. Like, this is This is why I love chondros. They don't stop. It always
No.
like you. I mean, what I'm saying is, for the most part, you know that this snake isn't going to get more green. Like, as far as what you see, that yellow stain, what's going to change is you're going to see a lot more of that blue. That green's going to become more of a blue tint as it gets older and as it ages. I feel like this is my prediction based off some of the stuff I've raised. And dude, what a gorgeous animal, bro. And it's a male or female. I can't remember what you said. Male.
I'm going to put him.
He's paired right now or not yet?
He's paired with the Biekaru I was telling you about earlier.
Okay, so why don't we dip into your trials with breeding, how it's been so far, because you paired him up for the first time. I mean, that's good for you though. You know, you didn't rush it. You know what I mean? You're doing things on your time, but last year was your first time giving it a go. Am I right?
Last year was my first attempt.
Let's talk about it. What time of the year was it?
I started putting them together around November, early November, late October.
Did you do ultrasound or anything like that? Did you see any follicles, or you're just going with the weather?
No, I just went with I had done temp cycling. I didn't do any night cycling. I just did temp cycling and then put them in. And I think my biggest mistake was waiting to see what everybody else in the country was doing time-wise and rushing it because it was earlier, than a lot of people in Texas because it wasn't cold yet, November, it's still 85 degrees.
Hey guys, we're close. We just have about 70 people in the building. If you're just tapping in late, don't forget to hit that like button for my man B Phillips, because he's about to drop some heat right now. So please, let's get the likes up. That I don't like that ratio. Let's get these likes up. My man Flex in Texas. Let's get the likes up for my man Bill dropping 100 boodles. That's what I'm talking about. The homie Andy Fox. Let's get the likes up, please, for my boy Brian. But anyways, okay, let's go back to what we were talking about. So, what were some of the things that you're noticing? Was there just kind of like no interest for the first couple days? Were they cuddling? What were some of the signs you were seeing when you were first pairing them up?
So initially, I was terrified because as soon as the male touched the perch, the female flew straight for his face and just pulled up about half an inch away.
Ooh.
And that was it. She just pulled up and he climbed up on the perch. She went back to normal perching, and later that night he was all over her. And she didn't drop her tail or anything, but she just kind of sat there, and then you could say they cuddled, but I could see the tail, no lock. And that lasted for about 2 days, and that was it for the entire year. No matter what I tried, I couldn't get them anywhere near each other again.
And what were you doing as far as like how long were you leaving them in together at a time?
I'd leave them together for a week and then separate to feed, 2 days to digest, and put them back in.
Right.
And that lasted for about 2.5 months. And then it got cold.
There was only those 2 days of her or him and her kind of being any, and then after that, it was separation after that, like
opposite sides of the cage.
Did she ever shut off? Did she ever shut off food, or was she eating the whole time?
Ate every time. I mean, just ferocious.
Yeah.
And did that for about 2.5 months. Got cold. Temp cycled again, and better. During November, my house doesn't get below 74, so it's kind of hard to drop it.
Right.
And cycled again for 6 weeks, reintroduced, and couldn't even get them to lock on the first night.
I'm starting to I noticed that the temp drops do encourage some breeding, but I don't feel like your breeding relies on temp dropping. Like I do know that it does create it, but I feel like if the female's ready and your room's at 77, 80 ambient, they're still gonna fuck. You know what I mean? And I'm starting to see that for myself. But it all depends too. I don't know. Like you got some people who do drastic drops. You got some people who don't really fuck with drops. Just leave it consistent. What I'm starting to see that worked for my ball pythons, and you just, even though they're ball pythons, I didn't give them no drop. I gave them because naturally whatever's happening out in my weather here seems to work fine. So for the most part, that room is ambient. So if it does have a drop, it's natural, but for the most part, that room is always at 80, 77, and I've never let it drop too crazy low. And then this year with these, I didn't, I had in November, I had a little bit of a crazy drop, but then I was like, since I saw how well the consistent heating worked in that room, I did it in this room, and sure enough, I'm starting to see more action. I'm not saying that's going to work for anyone else. That's the fucking funny thing. Like, you have to figure out what systematically works for you at your place, because I've gotten so much information from Socrates. I've gotten information from Bill, Patrick. People who don't even live where I'm at. You know what I mean? They figured out what works for them where they're from. And the hard thing about chondros is figuring out if 87 degrees works incubation, if temp drops works for you. Like, you got to figure out what it is that works for you. And I'm starting to just kind of go with what I see that works versus just like, well, I got to do this because so-and-so does this, and fuck, like, I got to do it. I don't think that's really the case. You got to find out what works. Like, you almost have to trial and error yourself and take the advice you get, of course, right? Take it for consideration, but like, you got to understand, like, people, and you know this, Bill know this, Gary know this, Mark Hager in the building. You got some heavy hitters in the building, by the way. But dude, all these guys figured everything out that they know through so much trial and error. They lost a lot, and I don't care who the fuck you're gonna lose something. You're gonna lose. Like, something's gonna happen, but that's what you want to happen. That's how you gain. Wins come from losses. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, that's why I'm so, like, as much as the chondro game could rip your fucking heart out and shit on it, I'm accepting the challenge. Because I know it takes time. It's not going to happen right away. Even if it does, it's going to go to shit again at some point. That's just the flow of things. And dude, life is all about what you do, what it brings you. How life hits you with certain things, right? It all depends on how you get yourself up, bro. No matter how hard you get knocked down, life is all about how you stand back up and how you push forward. And if you could push forward, fucking neonates dying on you, if you could push forward adult chondros fucking dying, all this fucking nido shit that could happen, if you could push forward and be fucking bigger than that and try to figure things out like all these other fucking legends, dude, that's what I want to be a part of personally. You know what I mean? And I like I said, no matter what happens in this room, I'm happy to just still look at it. I don't care if it doesn't breed. I don't care. Like, I'm so happy. I got my ball pythons for that. I'm good. You know what I mean? This is just a therapeutic thing for me. I love this shit, bro. But you can't help but not to listen to all these horror stories. And I know you heard a lot of horror stories in this chondro game, Brian.
Oh yeah. And that's one of, I have. And that's one of the reasons I take a step back, and I think I'm in a good headspace this year. And I think that's one of the reasons I've had better results. Last year, it was my first attempt breeding anything of any species ever, and to be chondros, and if I expect anything, my expectations were just too high, and that kind of discouraged me. But this year, it's just fun. It's like you said, the trial and error thing. I've managed to get 2 locks this year. They happened quite a bit earlier in the year, so I don't think, or end of last year, so I don't think anything's happened. I haven't seen any ovulation, but the locks alone were just, one of the best highs of doing it, just because it was something. It was in the right direction.
Yeah, that's all you want.
And just having if I were to never produce anything and just have this room to come into and check out all the cool animals, I'd be every bit as happy.
It's funny you say that, because I just for the first time in 2 years, I'm witnessing another ovulation, a green tree ovulation. And I already know this road is just starting. I know this road is just now beginning, but just to see that I haven't seen in 2 years makes me feel so good, because I didn't know what the fuck was happening in this room. Because like you, I wasn't seeing much locks. Like, I had my sarong. I have this beautiful sarong pair where last year, bro, he fucking piped her down for like 2 months straight. And I was like, oh, this is going for sure. I was like, I'm like, you know, the tail's hanging, like everything. Like it was like, he was all about it. And then she never shut off food. I would separate and then put back. And then all of a sudden he wants nothing to do with her. Next thing you know, a year goes by, nothing fucking happens. And even this year I paired him up and he's like, she goes on top of him and he's just like, I'm good. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's a compatibility thing, but she was the girl who laid my first clutch for me 3 years ago. And then the year right after that, Mimi dropped her clutch, right? So back to back, I had horrific chondro clutch experiences where I only got 2 out of 28 eggs to actually hatch, you know, which at that time I didn't know about that real process. I beat myself up, bro. Like I was really hard on myself. I did want to quit. I didn't really have many chondro homies to kind of explain to me how this process works. So yeah, I thought it was like ball pythons. I was like, dude, why do I suck and all sorts of shit. But the thing with the chondros, there's just no room for error, bro. You can't fucking fuck up at all. Like you can't, you know, the incubation needs to be perfect and you need to leave it alone. Like there's just so many things that you need to have dialed in that can't go wrong if you want all. And even then it's still luck. Like it comes down to luck too. Like you're against a lot of odds with this shit. It's just not easy.
No, yeah, you're right. And that's one of the things Bill taught me right off the bat. His first Cyclops clutch, you know, they locked so many times and I was so excited. I was ecstatic. Right. I was like, man, it's gonna be wicked, blah blah. And he's like, until they hatch,
it don't mean shit.
It doesn't even exist.
But even when they hatch, bro, until they eat.
Yeah.
Bro, it's like, because it's so sad because even like Socrates, we all know Sock, right? So shout out to my boy Sock, but he has showed me some beautiful fucking chondros fresh out the egg on his finger, tongue flickering, and then like a week later it died. You know what I mean? So it's like, what? Like, how the fuck did that happen? And like, dude, you just don't know. Like these things could just go to shit from fucking like from nothing. You know, it's very heartbreaking.
Oh, it is. And that's, you know, I'm blessed because when I do eventually have some, I already have experience feeding. Bill, you know, never hesitate. If anything popped up, he gave me a shot. He let me pull the blue Cyclops girl off her first set of eggs. I got to feed half the babies the first time trying to feed. I mean,
wow.
He threw me in there and just said, you know, worst case scenario, I'll take over.
Yeah.
But he always gave me the opportunity. And if I wanted to go for seconds, he was like, fine, you know.
Oh,
it's
for sure.
your time. And if you're serious about it, this is either going to keep you serious or weed you out. So I was very lucky.
And, you know, it's so funny, bro, because, you know, and this is why I don't care. Like any kind of sign of things getting closer to go in the right direction gets me excited. But it's just like really nothing to be excited about because it's like you're just so far away, you know. But this is why I'm glad it hasn't been so easy for me to get clutches. I'm glad it took me 2 years to see something like this again because I appreciate it. Like I'm just happy to see that my girl. I'm a little stressed, obviously, because I want her to pump out good eggs. I want her to get them all out. You know, there's so many things that could go wrong. You know what I mean? And you know, people preach all the time. Keeping chondros is easy. It's a walk in the park. It's the breeding that's the difficult thing. Keeping a chondro is easier than keeping a fucking ball python, and it's more enjoyable. I feel like. But at the end of the day, it's not hard to do. Emerald tree, not hard to keep. You could keep if you have the temps down, you have shit set, you're good. But when it comes to breeding, that's when shit goes the opposite direction. And it sucks. And you just got to be prepared for it.
I agree. And I think that was part of the what happened in the mindset last year was that keeping them, you know, I got my first one as my third snake ever and then added another one and then added 3 more within a year of that. It was like, oh, these things are cake. I mean, as long as your setup's good, no problem. Okay, I'll watch the YouTube videos, read the books, and bam, they'll produce whatever. And that's just not the reality of it.
Yeah.
There's a reason they say the ratio, if you want one clutch, you need about 4 females. And out of those 4 females, you need them all to lock just to hope for one clutch.
Yep.
So it's a numbers game,
That's funny.
but it's a fun journey.
It is a fun journey because you're just always learning about the animal. You're learning about, like, I don't know. I mean, like you said, if you have more than one pairing going on, you're going to see different activity from each pairing, or you might not see nothing from each pairing. I don't know, but you got to play to pay, man. And a lot of the pain that obviously you're paying, right? But a lot of the pain is the timing. You're just putting in the time. You're being patient and just letting things happen as they do. At the end of the day, no expectations, man. You can't have expectations. You just, and because, at the end of if things work out, good job, man. Congratulations. If they don't, you're not the only one. Shut up.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it's hard to explain that to people. I had a buddy, he just loves investing in stuff. And he saw a couple pictures. He's like, hey, if I give you like 20 grand to buy some snakes, how long till you can show me some profit? I just laugh because there's no answer. I could piss away all that money and never produce a thing, or I could strike gold and produce everything, but who knows?
Well, now I'm kind of pissed at you, Brian, because you could have easily got that 20K. I would have sent you some amazing ball pythons. We would have got you. We would have got you a rack. We would have had that. We would have had that guy's money back the first year, bro. What the fuck? God damn it, Brian. Can you hit him up?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm glad. Oh, let's kind of put the chondros on the shelf for a little bit. What other species out there really tickles Brian's fancy? Like, obviously you have. Is it a carpondro or is it a carpet? You have some sort of fucking. What do you have? What is that? That's a carpet.
Behind me?
No, the Purdue. Well, let me see right here.
I have both. I have a lot of carpets now.
Okay, this thing's fire. What is it? Is this a jungle carpet? What is this?
That is a gamma sibling from Adam Hollander.
Oh wow!
And I actually have a female gamma that related to it as well.
You produced this or you did it?
No. I haven't produced anything. I wish.
Okay. So what's your game plan with the carpets, though?
I'm actually working on a joint pairing with my buddy Logan, Bill's first apprentice.
Nice.
We have I have a jungle male, and then we went half on a jungle female, and hopefully she goes this year.
Now, I also saw over here that you have is this a diamonds right here? What is this?
Yes, I acquired 2 female diamonds this year, or last year. 2021 was a good year for me. Probably my best year in reptiles.
This is a huge bucket list species for me to get.
The pictures don't do them justice.
No, not even a little bit.
These are probably some of the coolest things, and they're so inquisitive, but don't have a mean bone in their body.
And they get they get pretty big too, right?
Yeah, they do. Bill had a beautiful diamond when I first started with him, and I actually have a baby from a diamond zebra jag he bred. I have a female that I'm going to try breeding next year to a jungle.
Wow. Oh my God. So since I'm pretty geeked out over this species, let's talk about how you're keeping this. Like, how are you keeping this snake here?
Well, hold on. Let me see if I can. He's in a 1x2x1 with a couple perches, 3 hides, and 2 water dishes.
Okay, awesome. So, I mean, and humidity has to be like kind of similar to chondros, you would say?
Yeah, pretty close.
More sturdy than a chondro, though, right? Durability wise, like they're more stronger, right? Like kind of more of a carpet.
More like a carpet. The way I put it, my biggest worry is that I've heard with diamonds, and it's mainly breeding them. You have to get them real low temperature, like 55 degrees.
Oh shit!
And in Texas, you don't have very long to replicate that. But as far as keeping them, I went over, I bugged Buddy Bashimi a lot. I must have blown him up for about 3 days before I pulled the trigger on one.
Damn.
Just running the scenarios of like, hey, this is where I'm at in Texas. This is what my temp's like on this set of months and this set of months and this set of months. You think I can do it, or is it going to stress it out and kill you? Like, no, you might have some problems breeding at those temps, but they're sturdy animals. They got no problems in the 70s.
Oh man, and you got a roughies too. Jeez, guy.
Got a female rough scale from Brett Bender and a male from Terry Burwell.
Well, I have a pair that's cooking, huh, Bill? Tell me about my pair that's cooking right now. My boy Bill Stiegel got a pair of roughies in the incubator. Shout out to my boy Bill.
Yes, he does. That's where I fell in love with them. I'd go over there and clean cages and spend the first hour just hanging out with the roughies.
Just their texture, man. Like the way they feel is just something unreal. You know what I mean?
The texture of the eyes are what do it for me. Just like a piercing silver. I don't know, something about the eyes.
And that just the dark brown, like it's just a different kind of a brown tone that is just like more of a maroon type brown, and I love it. It's awesome. It smacks.
Yeah, they're kind of like the diamonds in the sense that they're they're just super inquisitive, right, but not a mean bone in their body. I mean, I can grab them from anywhere at any time, and they're super, super cool about it.
All right, back to the chondros. So let's talk about what your plans are. Or actually, no, before we get into that, I want to talk about what your protocols are when inquiring a new chondro. I mean, because right now, I mean, you're no rush to add in. What is your chondro count right now? How many chondros do you have?
12.
How many adults?
So next year, actually mid this year, 7.
So is there anything in your mind? Like, I mean, are you at all looking to add anything else? Or I mean, or what's that like for you right now?
Right now, I've kind of reached a point where I'd like my animals to support newer projects. The caveat being, if I see a Cyclops, I'll probably buy it. Something about the Cyclops look, I just fell in love with them. Bill's blue Cyclops girl was stunning. Her offspring were dope, and then just some of the other Cyclops I've seen, you just can't beat that look to me.
So let's pretend you didn't have any Cyclops, but you still have the love for Cyclops that you do right now, right?
Okay.
How would you approach inquiring a Cyclops as of right now? What are your you don't have to tell me your techniques, but what are like your protocol when it comes to you reaching out or you looking to purchase a new chondro?
If I have something in mind, I'll usually reach out to Bill, Patrick, Gary, Mark Hager, people that really know the hobby, really know, what people are working with, but also have a good connection and put out feelers and see, okay, well, do y'all know of anybody that's working with this in particularly? And then go from there. And if they were to all come up no, I'd jump on any of the Facebook groups and just start looking for pictures, pairings, anything, and then get those people's names and then run them through the list of people I trust and see, okay, have you heard anything? Do you know anything? Would you recommend it? Would you stay away? And that's how I've always operated, and it's done really well for me so far.
I'm a huge guy in affirmations. You know what affirmations are?
English was not my strong suit. I'm a numbers person.
I only really know about this because of my boy Socrates, but affirmations is basically talking things into existence, right? Like, I love my life. I have a wealth of knowledge, like just telling you stuff you want to be, right? So my affirmation's this right now. I'm going to sell B. Phillips a production of mine that's a chondro. Okay, so let's speed this scenario up to like, let's just say this is 10 years from now, because it's probably a long time from now since that's going to happen. But let's say we're in that moment right now. You fucking hit me up. I'm like, dude, I got what you want. Here you go. It's coming in the mail tomorrow. What is your one-on-one protocol when accepting, no matter who it's from? What do you do when you get that snake in the mail from FedEx? Like, what is your immediate move after that?
I mean, after taking it to work and then getting home, it goes into the closet of a secondary room that's away from everything else and stays there for at least 6 months.
Okay. And basically 6 months is when you actually, after 6 months is good, after it eats, no issues from quarantine in that closet, it now goes into your main room, correct?
Based on my habits, I try to buy as close to being, out of the egg as possible. But if I were to acquire something older that I feel like I could confidently test with a swab without hurting it, I'd go ahead and send that off just for peace of mind and then move it into the collection. But after 6 months, no issues, looks healthy, never had anything, I'd move it to the collection.
Are you asking for tests? Like I mean, I know you haven't bought any adults, right? But I mean, would you ask for a test to be done before you bought it?
It depends on who I got. I mean, one of the reasons I go through people that I trust and I ask is because, I know the people I talk to, and when they vouch for somebody, they vouch for their techniques. So I know that either that person doesn't have Nido, or if they do, their babies are separated early from, as soon as they attach, they never enter a room where a Nido animal is. So it's not an issue. But if I were purchasing from a random person, I'd ask them, and I'd offer to pay, and I'd probably offer to pay a little extra because it's, they got to take the time out to do it. And if that was an issue from there, it would just really depend how bad I wanted the animal.
I mean, a lot of people, I feel like, kind of just jump to wanting to get the snake and then think about the actions after they get the snake. Like, I've had to talk to a couple people. It's been a while, but I've had a couple people on my Patreon page who would come to me, literally like had already put a deposit on snakes and like, hey man, look, I got a real good deal on this pair of Arus, and I'm going to get them in. And, I would ask them, like, did you get a test done? And, oh, well, the person who referred me to them said that they're solid and I'm good. And I'd be like, well, listen, if they're that solid, then this guy who's selling you these snakes would have no problem getting a test done. Since they're adults, they've been in his collection a long time. He should be cool with getting the test done. I was like, why don't you just go ask him? Like, ask him. And so he did. He went to go ask him. And the guy was like, he gave him a text back like, hey, like, I'm telling you right now, they're good. But you know what? No problem. I'll get them tested for you. Sure enough, got them tested. Both came back positive. You know what I mean? So
wow.
Yeah, and this kid had no chondros in his collection. Was like in this, I met him when he was 17. At this time, he was already, or actually, I met him when he was fucking 15. At this time, he was 17. And like, getting like working money, like working, saving his money. So he was about to drop like almost 3 racks on this pair that would have been fucking Nido positive for his first pair of chondros. Like, that's how you're gonna get served. Like, that's why I'm like, just because how good the deal seems, or, even how legit the name of the person that's selling you it is, you should definitely go the extra step on being safe about it. Like the one thing I love about Sock is anything that comes, anything that leaves gets Nido tested from his place. He don't fuck around. Everything has paperwork on his everything. And I feel like he does that to save his own ass. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people out there who may not be as safe about their shit and might get one of his productions, get it in their collection. His production dies. They come around to him, say, what the fuck? This snake has Nido. No, it doesn't. This snake does not have Nido. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I feel like that's a huge thing. People should get in the mindset of being careful about and just getting that practice. Like, you know, like it's like, don't ever feel like just because somebody's name or whatever is safe enough to just gamble and not get any fucking tests done. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not worth it.
No, I agree, especially when you're talking, you know, you handpick your animals and you have some stuff you just can't get again. The bloodline either doesn't exist or the few out there from the bloodline, nobody's coughing them up. So,
right.
Like I think the last time I've only made 2 purchases of something that wasn't a baby, and both times it came with the NITO test already, so it wasn't an issue.
Right.
But no, I agree with you, especially and it's good for the hobby. I mean, it's good for everybody.
Yeah, because we're like, you know, we're kind of leaving the generation of being a lazy keeper. You know, there were so many things that people just did because it was less time consuming for them. It was better for the human, but now we got to do things that are better for the animal. You know what I mean? And we got to fucking put more time into it. Like, yeah, that's what it's about. That's how we evolve. But I really feel like doing this whole NITO testing is just a part of us evolving as keepers. You know, I feel like it's important. I don't think we should fucking sleep on it.
Very. I mean, everybody was doing it when it was happening, and it was a big ordeal. There's no reason then to continue it. If anything, the more we do, it'll push the knowledge, and hopefully the research will just get better because there's more and more data out there. I mean, data is everything when it comes to finding solutions to this stuff.
Right.
So the more we can log, the better.
I'm getting better at this, but I want to ask you, what kind of data keeper are you? Like, are you marking down shits, sheds, fucking sips, what are you really marking down with your data, with your chondros?
In the beginning, that was the goal, and I tried, and it worked really well. And I do it up until about 1.5 years. After 1.5 years, they're established, and I'm just like, you know,
they're good.
We know what we're doing. If I were to have babies, obviously I'd keep detailed notes because that's what I've always been given. Once again, it comes back to I've been very fortunate to either been given the exact card from day one or a printed off Excel sheet from day one with every chondro and almost every animal I own. So I just feel like at this point in time, like you said, we've gotten away from being lazy keepers. It's just kind of expected. And so since that's what I've always been given, I would expect that's what other clients would want.
Right.
But no, I tried my hardest. I've got a whole whiteboard. I was like, we're going to keep every animal in this rack, every animal here. It's going to happen. And then you get busy on a weekend or you just have 4 hours and you're running through everything and it gets missed. You're like, well, shit.
I mean, like for instance, I get socks. If I get a sock production in, I'm like, he already brings a card that's already starting to fill out, and I'll keep that going and I'll keep that, but nothing else of mine. Like only if it's from him, you know, like, cause he's already bringing it in with documentation. I want to keep that going, but I also feel like it's just also important as a young Neo to keep track of those things. You do want to make sure that it's shedding on a good schedule. You want to make sure that it is digesting, because that kind of shows you that it's growing. It kind of gives you a good idea on its growth pattern, which I do feel like is very important for a baby chondro or even a baby emerald or a boreal snake, whatever. You know what I mean?
So it's funny you say that. That's the first thing. I got a northern emerald from Gary, and
what?
Yeah,
you did? When?
1.5 years, 2 years ago.
One of his productions, or where'd you get it from?
No, not one of his productions. Just one year. He got a handful of babies in, and I'd been lucky enough to meet him 6 months prior, and I just, bored him to death with how cool I thought they were. So he thought of me, and I lucked out that he got some.
And that was 1 year ago?
2 years ago.
How big is it now?
It's still pretty small. I mean, I don't say pretty small. It's good size. I've been slow growing just because he told me. I hit him up and I was like, hey, this thing's eaten 3 times and hasn't shit and it's swollen. He's like, oh, yeah, no, don't do that.
Right.
Because when I initially got it, it was like, okay, they're based like chondros. You tweak the temps a little bit. And so I fed it like a chondro. And they're very slow metabolism and very lazy. It almost never moves except when it sees a camera.
Right.
It's
It just chills.
oh yeah. I mean, I get it out and it's completely fine to handle, no big deal. Doesn't mind taking a soak, but the second I put a phone in front of it for a picture, strikes the camera right out of my hand.
Damn. Yeah.
Doesn't like phone.
Yeah, there's some reptiles that just don't like the phone, bro. And whatever it is, they just don't like it. I think they see the camera. I think it's like the reflection of this or something, to be honest. But I don't know. Some of them definitely spaz out about it. That's for sure.
And actually, I got into those because of Bill too. When I first started working with Bill, he had one of the prettiest northerns ever. I mean, the green was beautiful and the white stripes were crisp. There wasn't a bit of green inside. I mean, it was just one of the most beautiful animals ever. And right then I told myself, I'm going to own an emerald. I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to get one.
Man, and you only have one, right?
I only have one.
And you want another one, I'm assuming.
I want as many as I can hold in my house.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro, chondro and emeralds are it, bro. They're like the perfect hand-on-hand, like, we have both, like, can definitely hurt your feelings, but still, like, beautiful. They're just so prehistoric, yet not fragile, but just something like, like they're in a tree. Like, they're out of sight most of the time, and you get to see these things all the time, and it's just so, like, glorious. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, I get stuck in this room so many times just staring at things like, I cannot believe I own this right now. Or, dude, I love checking things out at night. At night they're active, they're moving around, and that's when I really see that it notices me. I'm just like, holy shit, this thing is awesome. And emeralds, man, and I'm telling you right now, as that thing grows, when that emerald becomes an adult, I'm sure you'll have other emeralds by then. But bro, when these things are big, that's when your love for chondro or emeralds is very wobbly, bro. It's like this. People ask me, you like chondros or emeralds? And I tell them something different every time. I can't make up my mind because I
can answer that one now. It's the emerald.
Emerald. So you're already locked in on the emeralds. Oh wow. Damn.
Chondros are beautiful and I love the variety, but there's something, I grew up Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, all that stuff. I loved it. And the nostalgia of dragons, it's the only thing I see when I look at an emerald. And it's just something about how they look. They're the ultimate animal.
They are the ultimate animal, man. And, and I'm telling you, I'm very, obviously my biggest stance of why I love reptiles came from dinosaurs. Like I remember as a kid how much I had this crazy like toy dinosaur collection, obsessed with dinosaurs, and anything that I keep in this collection of mine, the more prehistoric it looks, the more obsessed I am over it. Like a Papuan olive python. That's one of my favorite fucking snakes. Like, I mean, because it's like a goddamn, like the face, it looks like a goddamn something that was here when dinosaurs were here. Emeralds look like something from the prehistoric days. I think emerald was probably like living with these motherfuckers back then. I feel like they were that hardy of a snake. I don't feel like chondros were, but I do feel like emeralds were, you know what I mean? Emeralds are just like, there's just something just very like royalty about an emerald, bro. Like very just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Oh, it's just like a Bolin's. You know how Bolin's is just super like, just royalty status, like just like, like cream of the crop type shit. Emerald, especially a basin, right? Like basins. Oh my God. Man. Marshall Mendez's place, bro. Like he has this wall, the wall of basins, bro. Like it's just like this wall of these gigantic, fucking beautiful 50/50s, 75/25s, pure basins. Like, it was my favorite thing to fucking be around at his house, bro. I'm telling you right now,
I can't imagine.
I cannot wait for that day. I know it's going to come because I can tell you what, I'm loving the stuff I do now, but at some point I do want to lighten the load. Like when I'm a lot older, I'm not going to want all this chaos, right? So my goal is to have that one room full of emeralds, full of chondros, and a bowling, and just chill, and just fucking, and just be old and smoke weed all day, and just that's it. You know, that's all I want to do. Fuck.
I'm with you, but I wouldn't mind being the whole house. I could do an emerald room, a green tree room, and a carpet room, and I'd be happy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Can't go. I mean, I would love to just deck out a whole house, but my wife won't let me do that. I mean, I'm already getting away with like fucking grasshoppers being bred in the living room. I have what 40 snakes in this room, and I have the trap. I'm already getting away with murder, but I don't know. We are trying to move, so you never know what the next house might be. So we'll see. All right. So Brian, I have to ask you, how are your feelings as far as like, you know, the newer keepers coming in? Do you feel like they have a chance? Like, do you feel like the newer wave of people that are coming into this game are going to get a grasp on what it takes to keep a chondro? Or do you feel like it's still going to be tough for people to keep? Like what is your, like, basically, do you see this chondro game progressing where more people could keep them? Or do you feel like it's always going to be something where it's like a niche type project?
I think we'll see an increase in people keeping. I think we'll see a large increase in people keeping, because the one thing you do notice is the different type of cages for babies. I mean, the market for, you know, subadult and adult cages is pretty standard. You know what you need to do to keep them alive. It's easy. But
Right.
the super easy, you know, most people keep their neos in tubs or racks. But if you only have one, if you're only going to buy one, maybe two, you want that personal cage. We're seeing a lot more, you know, 1x1 cubes that all you got to do is supply water, puppy pad, food, and a tiny radiant heat panel, or even a heat tape on a thermostat. You're done.
Right.
And I think we're going to see a lot of people, because of the Instagram, because podcasts like yours and all the people willing to come on the podcast and do these types of videos and share their knowledge, you're going to see a huge increase in how many people keep them. I don't think you'll see any increase at all in people producing them, or very small. One thing I've noticed about social media and everything is a lot of things are trends. You know, I get all sorts of people sending me message about, oh my God, here's the snakes that goes from blue to purple, or is this purple real? I'm like, no, it's a filter. And as soon as I tell them that, they just lost interest.
That's why I tell people to fuck off about a wait list. I don't want a wait list, because all this hype that you have, all this fluff that you're doing, and let me send you a deposit, all this shit, you might not feel like that fucking 6 months down the road, or 4 months, 3 months, even a month. I don't like, when it's ready and it's ready to rock, then let's do it. Give me the fucking money. Here's your animal. Have a good day. But like, bro, these people are so, it's just in general, people are so back and forth, or people get hyped. They get the hyped all build up, and they, you know, a lot of times people drop money that they don't even have, and they're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, what are you fucking thinking? You know what I mean? But yeah, the chondro thing, like if you're one idiot in there, if you're one idiot in this industry who thinks you can dump a bunch of money in chondros and see some sort of return within the first fucking 10 years, not anything. You're fucking, you got to be kidding me. There is no return. The return is that you're still fucking here. That's your return. Like, it's true, because you can't put a value, bro. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. For somebody who has to spend up to maybe 45 minutes to an hour to get one of these chondros to eat, and then turn around and sell it for $1,200, it's not enough. I feel like that chondro should go for way more, for the amount of time and effort it takes for one individual to get certain chondros, bro. Like, I mean, that's why I would have a hard time selling them if I were to ever get good at breeding chondros. Like, I mean, I would, this is why I love my Patreon members, because like, I would love to sell within a circle. Like, I don't want to sell to a random fucking Joe Schmo. I don't want to sell at a show. I don't want to fucking do giveaways. No offense. even though that giveaway did work out with you. But I mean, bro, he could have gave that snake away to fucking some idiot. Like, who knows? Like that snake could have gone to anybody. Luckily, it went to the right person. But for me, I'm so like, bro, like I would love to get a snake that I produce that is eating. I probably won't get rid of it, to be honest. But like I said, if I ever got to that point, I'm gonna cherish all the sacrifice. I'm gonna cherish all the losses, all the wins, all the time I put in, to where I can't really put a value on this fucking neonate. I can't. Like to me personally, they're priceless. They really are. And that's why I feel like I'd rather not. You know, I don't know. Shout Patrick Holmes, bro. God damn. If you have a Patrick Holmes production. He didn't advertise that snake on a fucking on Morph Market. Like that was a connect. Like that was a fucking deal done over the phone. You know what I'm saying? And Patrick only takes care of Texas. It pisses me off. No, he hooks up.
I love my Patrick animals, and he does. He remembers everything.
I love Patrick, bro. I mean, like you're surrounded by some of the best people in the fucking game, bro. 100%. You're in a good place.
I've been very lucky, and I attribute that to most of my success. People that were just willing to share everything they knew. They were passionate and wanted to share it with other people.
We've been giving Bill reach arounds this whole night, and here we are just sleeping on Patrick. Like Patrick, bro. Like what a fucking.
I bug Patrick. I've bugged Patrick a lot.
Whoa! I thought I liked him. Fuck, bro. Nope. Brian likes him more than I do. I mean, because listen, here's the thing with Patrick. Like, you know, obviously, if you know his story, the guy's not your typical human. Like, the guy's been through a lot, has accomplished a lot of obstacles that life has thrown him. But more importantly, his mindset for these chondros, like, you could just tell this guy was put on earth to work with chondros. Like, he's just, he's about it. So to have any relationship with this guy is like you're in a good place, because he will spend time with you. He will, you know, he is a busy guy, but if you do have that moment, he will give you his information that he knows, and be ready, because it's fire. Like Patrick fucking knows a lot, bro. Very, very on top of his shit. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm just like, dude, I always love going to Bill's house, you know, because I always see you, Patrick, and I finally got to meet Mark for the first time, which was epic. Shout out to the homie Mark. Now, you know, just so you know, this is going to be the Texas Showdown this week. After this episode, we got Mark on Thursday. Woo!
I know, and he's produced some fire with those yellow babies.
The guy, I mean, if you want to talk about, you know, somebody who has it dialed down, man. And one thing about Mark, I'll tell you what, Mark brought up an awesome, you know, me and Mark had a connection years back when I didn't really know who he was. He didn't really know who I was. I can't really remember who knew who, but I did know I followed him. And you know, Mark, how he has those tubs that he made, right? Those enclosures that he made. Which, if you were to just sit back and look, you would have never thought those things are tubs. Like you would have thought like, yeah, you would think they're like focus cubes or some shit. You know what I mean? And I was, yeah. And I asked him too. I was like, hey, where'd you get those? He's like, I actually made them. And I'm like, you made those? He's like, yeah. I was like, you know, I had questions like, how? And like, dude, he called me. Like, I remember, like, he called me, and I was like, oh my God, he's calling me. Like, this is weird. Like, what do I do? And I answered it, and we spoke for like an hour on the phone, bro. And he told me what to write down, and like, I ended up buying all the material and everything. I just never built it, but still, like, he helped me. Like, he helped me, man. And like, honestly, that was the good taste in my mouth I was getting with the hobby of like people like, yeah, you have people who are assholes, but then you have people like Mark and Patrick and Bill who will really put you on and fucking help you out. And those are the ones I really grasped onto. Mark, I'm telling you, man, shout out to Mark. Cannot wait to have him on Thursday. But people like Mark are the reason why I was like, I knew like, okay, I need to stick around in this. I have people who want me to do good. I feel like information is available out there. You just got to know who to ask. You know what I mean?
Mark's a walking encyclopedia as well. I'll post a picture of a new animal, and he'll know the bloodline better than me. And then he'll remember an animal I got 3 years ago, and he'll be like, hey, you remember that one you got 3 years ago? Yeah, that bloodline would go really well with that.
Right.
I don't even have to consider my own pairings half the time. He'll just tell me.
Dude. All right. So listen, Brian, I have a wrap-up question for you before we get into the hot seat questions, okay?
Let's do it.
And I'm curious, obviously we can't predict the future, right? We don't know what the fuck's going to happen next year or 2 years from now. But let's just say things happen the way you want them to happen. Let's just say in the next 5 years, whatever your goals are, let's just say those goals were to plan out in the next 5 years. Where do you see yourself, or where do you want to be at chondro wise? Like, what is your main overall goal 5 years from now in the chondro game? Or the emerald, both.
I'd like to be one of the people that people come to for Cyclops babies. I'd like to be somebody that's putting out just consistent, nice Cyclops babies. And, doing stuff that like I was given. There's enough people out there that I think, I have friends that I've met that are huge lizard people, and they're a little timid about green trees. They think they're the most beautiful thing ever. They can keep a monitor that's in a 9-foot cage. I mean, they can do the hard stuff, and they're worried about a green tree. And it's like, dude, let me get you. I'll get you the cage set up, and you'll never touch anything in your life. I'd like to give both people a chance to get a green tree that share the passion at a good, like you said, trades or it's hard to put a price tag on something when somebody's got the passion. And I think that's, the biggest thing I've noticed with chondros is everybody wants to share.
Right.
There's really nobody. If you look at any of the big names or people that you refer to, the people you've shouted out tonight, nobody's greedy. I mean, everybody's trying to share. They want to swap bloodlines. They want the best. They want to make the coolest stuff out there. And you do that by
they want to keep it going. That's what it is. They don't want it to stop. So they
don't want it to be a small niche. They want everybody. And it's not, a snob thing. It's just when you hold the community to a high standard, the people that come in, they know the standard. And when they bring somebody in, they help them keep the standard.
Listen, some people order sparkling water at a restaurant. Some people order tap water. It is what it is. I'm a water with a lemon in it. I'm like in between.
Mine disappears so quick. I just chug it. It just needs to be ice cold.
Oh my God, you're the man, Brian. This has been an awesome episode. Definitely more. I mean, dude, you're gonna be on here again for sure because I have, like I said, I have nothing but great feelings about what the future holds for you, my man. No matter if it's chondros, emeralds, carpets, just the industry. I already know you're going to be a huge asset to it. So thank you so much. We had up to 70 people up in here at one point, bunch of fucking heavy hitters in the building. This was, you are not slept on. Let's just say that. Okay. But listen, before we let you go, before you head out, we have hot seat questions for you. Okay. And
all right.
I'm coming at you hot with these, super heavy hot. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Hot seat questions from my man Brian Phillips. Let's get the like. If you didn't get to hit the like button yet, let's hit that like button right now because we're about to get these hot seat questions served hot and ready. You ready, Brian?
I'm ready.
All right, hot seat questions coming in hot. Frozen thought or live?
Frozen thought.
A cut or no cut?
No cut.
Red chondro neo or yellow chondro neo?
Red. Hate to follow the pack.
Favorite chondro locality?
Cyclops.
Favorite least chondro locality?
No such thing.
Brian, least favorite chondro locality, please, sir.
Aru.
Oh, you're a bastard. I'm just kidding. Okay, just kidding. Okay. If it came to your incubation temps, straight bake or no straight bake?
Straight bake.
All right. Yay imports or boo imports?
Boo imports overall.
Okay, but if you could import one reptile, what reptile would you import?
An emerald.
An emerald? Okay. Basin or northern?
Basin.
Oh, shit. Okay. One reptile you would never import.
Oh, an anaconda. That'd be so mean.
For real. So, big flexor or no flexor?
Big flexor.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. B. Phillip. Sorry. Yay sports or no sports?
Yay sports.
Favorite sport.
Football.
Favorite football team.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Black and yellow.
College football or NFL?
NFL.
Nice. I almost had you there for a second. Steak or fish?
Oh, steak. I'm in Texas.
I was going to say, oh, he's going to be aggressive on this one. Favorite cut of steak?
Ribeye.
How do you like your steak prepared?
Rare. Always.
Damn, you're savage. I might, dude, I'll fucking die if I medium rare. I could do. If I do rare, bro, I'm dead.
Fair enough.
Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Ooh. Van Halen.
West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
West overall.
Favorite West Coast rapper?
Oh, the Notorious B.I.G. Fat Men Stay Together.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I mean, I don't not to the fat man part. I'm just saying you're the B.I.G., bro. Mexican food or Chinese food?
Chinese.
Yeah, dude. I because where you're at, dude, Chinese all day. If you lived in San Diego, you'd be saying Mexican, 110%. Oh, bro, you never had carne sauce fries before, have you? Oh, you poor fucker.
No, but I am. There's nothing better than a homemade michelada. Nothing.
Dude, I gave you my ingredients. Did you ever make that?
It didn't go. I'm not a bartender.
I didn't, but didn't you ask? Didn't I give you my specific ingredients on? Wasn't it you who I gave you my secret like clamato recipe to?
You did. So I gave it to my friend that's a bar. No, I made it and it was terrible. I gave it to my friend that's a bartender and it was amazing.
I love your honesty, bro. I love your honesty. Okay, let's see where we at. All right, little word association. First thing to come to mind: milk,
cookies,
buffet,
fat people.
Sorry. Oh my god. Substrate.
Cypress mulch.
Egg box.
Eggs.
Ovulation.
Women.
I don't know why you're making me laugh so hard right now. Day 60.
69. It's just too close.
Damn. Okay. New conjurer keeper.
Noob.
Instagram trolls.
Douchebags.
If you had to get rid of one platform forever, this is gonna be a tough one for you because you're hella respected on one I don't like. But if you had to get rid of one platform forever, is it going to be Facebook or Instagram? Which one has to go?
Facebook.
Damn, coming from one of the OGs in Facebook, bro. I'm telling you right now, I don't like Facebook, but you are somebody I fuck with on Facebook because how much you're respected in Facebook. Brian Phillips, the man on Facebook, man. And oh, you know what? He's the man on Instagram now too. Go follow my man right now, Brian Phillips on Instagram. Let's get him up. Brian, before you go, oh, look at this. Oh my God. I want to hug it. Oh my God. Can you get this dog? Can I see it? Come on.
She's long asleep.
Oh, she's asleep. Dude,
I'm
so obsessed with this dog, bro. Like, I am very obsessed with this dog. What a sweetheart.
She's unique.
You've had her since a puppy, right?
Oh yeah, 6 weeks old.
Oh my God. What kind of dog is this?
Chow Chow.
So this is I've never seen a blonde Chow Chow before.
Oh yeah, full blood Chow.
Bro, and the temperament's pretty cool, or is it kind of like iffy around other dogs?
So she's really chill. She doesn't know she's a Chow in the sense that she's really nice.
Oh my God.
I have an all black Chow that will tear off my face if I do the wrong thing.
Oh my gosh. So you do have a black one?
Oh yeah.
And they get along fine?
Oh yeah, she wants to be his best friend. He's like 9 years older, so he's just kind of like, you can follow me if you want.
Don't get too close.
Pretty much.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, I've always been a fan. Bro, my neighbor had a red chow chow. Like it was like a red one.
Oh yeah,
And
the cinnamons, they're
dude,
gorgeous.
but it was mean. One time it got out and it was like, have you seen the movie American Werewolf in London?
Yeah.
Dude, it was like, do you know the chaos? Like when it was like going through downtown, bro, like
Mhm.
this thing got in our cul-de-sac and all our neighbors were like it was like, bro, it was one of the scariest things ever. And I remember on top of my fence just watching it, and it was just like running in circles in our cul-de-sac. And it was one of the scariest things ever. And that just like anything else, like I wanted it. I was like, I want that. Like that's what you know what I mean? Damn,
That's
bro.
how the all black one is. He will. I mean, if he wants to do something and I try to stop him, he'll bite me.
Yeah.
It's just an acceptance that he runs the house.
And they could fuck shit up, bro. Like that dog could do damage, bro. It really
Oh, yeah,
can.
that's him next to the husky.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at this. There they are right there. They're all chilling. Oh, look at that. Yep, that thing will fuck you up. It already wants to fuck you up. Look at it.
Yeah, he's vicious.
Oh my God. I love it, man. Hey guys, real quick, go follow my man BT Phillip 58 on Instagram. Let's get his followers up because this guy is a legend in the making. I gotta say, Brian, do you ever see yourself giving yourself like a logo or like a brand name at some point, or are you keeping it B Phillips?
Oh yeah, no, I do, and I've been kicking them around, but I feel like that's something that's a badge of honor you get once you produce. So,
Respect.
There's a lot of people out there with pages and stuff, and they've earned that. They've produced something, they've put something on that page, and I look forward to being able to do that one day.
Well, I can't wait for it, man. And if you ever need any help with anything, I mean, all I could really help you is like maybe social media tips, unfortunately, but I got you. Or wait, if you want ball python stuff, I got you.
Some of the stuff it's crazy. I thought bumblebees were the sexiest thing in the world like 10 years ago.
Right.
And now you look at the market and it's insane. Some of the stuff you've produced, I didn't even know existed as well.
Dang. Who knows, man? All you need is a wall space about this high with about let's say 8 tubs, and I could get you 40 grand out of that a year. I could promise you that right there. I'm telling you.
We may have to talk.
Let me know when you're ready, buddy. Let me know when you're ready. But hey, guys, real quick, Brian Phillips, thank you so much. I appreciate this, and we will continue this again. But that is a wrap. That is my wrap for my man, Brian Phillips. B. Phillips in the building.
Thanks, MJ. It was a blast. I really appreciate it. Oh, shout out to my buddy Logan. He had his 4th son today, Ben. I almost forgot that.
4th son. How many kids does he have? He has four sons? No daughter. No daughter.
No daughters.
Fucking Texas.
They were trying for a daughter. I think they're calling it quits.
I think the Texas just breed nothing but men down there, I guess, bro. They're fucking they got it right. God damn it. Hey, listen, I love Texas because of people like you. You're the man, Brian. Thanks for being my homie. Thanks for being a supporter. And your custom pocket t-shirt is on its way soon, my man. Because you always deserve something like this. You're the man, Brian.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. I will tap in. Either way, I'll see you at Arlington in September, right? So we'll
I'll be there.
All right, man. Have a good night, Brian. Thank you so much, bro.
Thanks, MJ. It was awesome.
All right, peace out, buddy.
Bye.
Texas's finest, man. My boy Brian Phillip killed it. That was an amazing episode. Thank you so much. If you guys tuned in, Gary, Bill, Mark, all the heavy chondro hitters that were a part of this show. Thank you so much for being here. Very inspiring. Really, really means a lot to see you guys here supporting somebody like Brian, who supports a lot of people in this industry. This guy's very positive, fucking, not dramatic at all. It's all about having fun, all about the animals, and it's a good guy, man. It's my boy Brian Phillips. But thank you so much, guys. Hit that like button before you dip out. And guys, like I said, this chondro conversation's not over. Oh, not even a little bit. This Thursday night, it's going down. We're tapping right back in. Still in Texas, but now we're going to talk to Big Bro. That's right, Mark Hager of Texas Chondros, going down this Thursday night, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. This guy right here is dialed the fuck in, not only in chondros, but in life altogether. But I will say, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. I have a challenge ahead of me, okay? I brought Mark Hager on Unfiltered Reptiles podcast. Great time. His mother watched the episode, Mama Hager. Not a fan of cursing, okay? Doesn't like cussing at all. And I got the feedback after that episode that she was a little disappointed on how much I cussed. So what I'm going to do, I hope I do this. I'm going to do this. No, affirmation. I will do. No, here's my affirmation for the episode happening this Thursday. MJ is not going to say one cuss word the entire episode. I guarantee me and Mark go at least 2 hours. Okay. So not one F-bomb, not one S word, not one B word. It's going to be difficult. I got to find out the substitutions, but I'm going to make this happen for Mama Hager, because I want her to watch the whole episode, and I want nothing but 100% positive feedback after I have her son on, because her son's amazing. Brought him up right. The guy's amazing. Brian Phillips is amazing. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for tapping in. I will catch you guys this Thursday night, and be ready to watch MJ not say one cuss word. I'm out.